Are we live?
Yep, rocking the shades.
Not the shades, the glasses.
New eyeballs for Mark's son.
I can finally see. That's what you look like?
You've been sitting pretty close away from me for weeks now. You just now see.
I can
Look
see
at that beard. You see the detail on that beard now? Pretty good. I just lined it up. No big deal.
Give Bob shit for quitting.
Dude, does he still have the mustache?
I think so.
Damn it. I still gotta give him shit. I haven't seen him. I hate it. Should have kept the beard, Bob. Yeah, I'm glad we're starting on time today. Thanks for being here.
It's a good week, I think. It's gonna be a good week. I'm excited for today's topic.
Yeah, let's go over what our theme, I guess. We don't really have a good one word to call this episode, you know?
Well, I think where it started from was how do we apply or learn the FixFit principles
Right.
a little better, you know? And where do people fall short? It's like, then we started discussing, you know, you have to kind of learn it like a sport in a sense.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people that are, you know, that we see or that we treat just don't really have the training mindset that some of the athletes do.
Right.
And we kind of break some of our case studies up and say, how come this person will take certain drills that we give them or certain videos we send them, and then they do it every freaking day like it's their job, you know?
Right, yeah.
And then some of the other people, they're not as consistent or disciplined or have the training work ethic to get there.
Yeah.
So it's one of the things we saw a parallel in. It's like there are benefits of playing sports as a kid, right? Because you have someone coaching you and you're coachable, and you have what you mentioned, your kind of 3 points were like you have the discipline portion of it, to have to go to practice on your skills even when you're not being told to get better. The other thing was, what else did you mention? We had discipline, we had work ethic.
Accountability.
Maybe the training mindset to have goals.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You're not just following, like most, I think adults will just pick up a new sport.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna go running. Hobby or sport, exercise, you know, CrossFit.
Yeah.
You just start running. You just start going. And you're not following a program religiously. Because there's not as much, you know, investment as back in the day. Because that was your life, right? You wrestled.
Yeah. Well, I think because we did an episode on programming and how we don't want it to just be a program. And then we did application for somebody that's in a sport or in life, like how to apply your FixFit protocol to it. But now we're kind of getting to, like, because we're still in the trial and error stage of FixFit. I think we're just seeing more success with athletes that know that it's a grind and they're going to have to chip away at this kind of stuff every day. Yeah. Right? Like if you have an engineer mindset that's just like, I buy protocol A and then it should, you know, test, retest, and it should just help.
Yeah.
Right? But it's like, you kind of have to, I think athletes always have a goal, you know? Like if you're in a sport of any sort, like if you're in golf, you could be a golf. People joke about golf all the time, but like you have to be an athlete to play 18 holes once a week. I mean, just once a weekend. Yeah. It's tough on your body. You can get real hurt in your lower back and stuff. We did a whole episode on golf, right? But it's like they constantly are scoring their card, keeping a handicap score, comparing it to their friends, betting on the course. Like that's where the athlete part comes out, where it's like, I'm going to go to the range today and I'm going to get a golf swing coach. I'm going to go to the gym to work on my endurance because I want a better handicap. I want to be better than my partner. I want to be the best. Like I golfed with a guy that's like a member of a club, and he invited me to his club, and he was like, there's a club championship every year. Everybody enters it. He's like, but one guy who's retired, and he's like really old too, dude. 6-time defending champion or something. I'm like, that freaking guy is probably at the range every day. Even I know he's retired and he's got an advantage with that. But he's got the mindset, right? Where he's like, I got a freaking title to defend. Yeah. How is that different than like a Floyd Mayweather that's undefeated going like, I'm going to hit the gym, you know, for, you know, when I finally take a fight, I'm going to like go crazy at the gym long hours because, you know, it's like the same mindset at least. I know they're totally different stipulations out there, but his mindset is, I'm working towards something, you know?
They're trying to get better.
Right.
The willingness to get better at something And to learn a specific skill takes time. We can even go, take the sport element out of it, like pick up a guitar.
Yeah.
Good luck dicking around once or twice a week, not having someone actually teach you. Like, how many people actually learn how to play in a band off of YouTube? Like, there might be some of those outliers, but it's the consistency, the willingness to go through the grind. Oh, my fingers hurt from holding the guitar and this and that. But it's like the same thing where you have to have the athlete type of mindset, I guess.
That's exactly the word I was
to
going to say.
get better at something. And now we're realizing, like, if you want to get better at understanding how to apply these FixFit skills or techniques, principles.
Yeah, to adapt the mindset of an athlete.
Yeah, and think FixFit, we're just using this analogy, but think FixFit is like your skill that you're trying to practice, like a golf swing. Mm-hmm. The only way you're going to get better at using the FixFit principles is to practice it like an athlete. So you don't just kind of like, oh, I just, did a couple pistons today. It's like, what does that even mean? You can't just go to the range once or twice a week. Okay. I mean, you can, but then you're never going to get better. You're never going to be able to go on to 18 and then be decent at golf. Right. So,
and then you got to go apply it. Go play 18 at this course. Oh man, I did pretty good. Do I just stop, or do I keep going and then go apply myself to a harder course afterwards?
If you had a terrible round of golf,
yeah,
right, or you had a terrible run where your shin splints flared up, your knee hurts. What do you do? If you had the will and the willingness to learn to be a runner, to want to continue to run, you wouldn't just stop.
Yep.
I mean, you could, but then that's the whole idea with FixFit. We wanted to keep you going.
If they are hindered in their training, right? Mm-hmm. Like if you're saying, I ran that half and I have shin splints, do I want to sign up for another half? No, I'm scared I'm going to get shin splints again. And it's like, the athlete would go, how am I going to get better at running?
Yeah.
And then PR my half. Well, that's what we're going to try to get to in this, is like, understand an athletic mindset. And I told you off air that I took a class in college called Sports and Contemporary Society. Just talking about it was a fun elective to take because I just love sports, but realizing how much team sports and individual sports can, in terms of like when you're the individual athlete representing yourself as a team, or not having a team, but just representing yourself, how they can just affect the way you are in society, the way that you are at your job. If I was raised some golden child in golf, or what's another individual sport that where you're just like swimming. Well, yeah, swimming, you have a team. See, swimming is a good one. Like, I have a score, time score. Someone's right behind me with a score, and they're approaching mine. I'm going to train harder because I don't want to lose my spot on the team to do the individual varsity race or whatever level, because someone's nipping at my heels. That makes you train harder, right? And then powerlifting, like you enter a competition, but...
Yeah, powerlifting, weightlifting would be pretty individual.
Right. And then, we have people that message us that just do weightlifting for fun and powerlifting for fun.
Or run for fun.
You're still testing it out against yourself, even though you're not entering a competition that's official with judges in a singlet. You're still trying to get better numbers. Like, you're honestly competing with yourself.
Yeah.
You don't want to be, it's not like, oh, I want a 500-pound dead like Mark does, so I got to keep going after Mark. Because as soon as, what if I did that? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, Ian got, or Deej right now, oh, Deej got 500 pounds. Do you want 505 now? Because he has the same PR as you? Like, maybe that's it? But that's like friendly competition within a gym, right?
Yeah.
At least it's still something that would get you back on training wagon, right?
Yeah, it's difficult to stay on track when you just never had that background kind of beat into you. If you played sports early, then that's all you're trying to do is get better.
Yeah.
By any means necessary. Yeah. And now you implement FixFit, we just have a better means necessary, like a smarter route. Back then, like you said with wrestling, you just, get adjusted or something, get back to training.
Yep.
And you kind of work through pain.
Yeah. So because someone else would take your spot.
And there's that mindset is what we're trying to instill, I guess, with the drive, with the discipline, with the work ethic. But we're trying to make sure you're doing it in a smarter way. We're not saying like, oh, your knee hurts, then stop squatting right away. Just get back into squatting. It's like we want to have that mindset where, okay, I hurt my knee in this last powerlifting meet, right? How can I prevent it? How can I get back stronger? And what do I have to do in terms of drills, practice, or figure something out so that this doesn't happen again, And like you said, you need someone to either chase or someone to chase you, I think, as part of that sport background.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that and you're just, even though you're recreational, like if I just powerlifted by myself,
yeah,
it's very easy to
what
fall
if you're
off.
just in your garage?
Exactly.
Right?
It's like,
and you didn't have DJ to bounce off of, or you didn't have the community help you lift 500. Would you still go for 500?
I mean,
you know,
yeah,
it's like, we don't know.
We don't know, and I don't think we would, because that's the whole idea of these hobbies, is you're always chasing something. Like if you're a runner, you're probably starting to try to beat your own times.
Yeah.
Things like that, and that drives you to be better. But if you don't have that background though, like at all, to like understand that there's going to be bad weeks or bad sessions, and if it didn't work out that day or these 3 months of training, then it's not a lost cause, and then I'll never, let's say, deadlift again or something, or I'll never run again.
I just think what's so interesting is that we're kind of pitching, if you played a team sport and you had someone, you were varsity A and a varsity B guy, like in wrestling, can challenge you for your spot at any point. You have this work ethic to yourself constantly throughout the week, how you're carrying yourself into the wrestling room every single day. Like, that guy might challenge me today. Or my coach can call me out and be like, we're going to go with the other guy this week. Just to, and that's in football. We're just going to go with the other guy. We're going to sit you this week just because. We're going to see what happens. Maybe the offense runs smoother. We don't know until it actually happens.
Yeah.
So you go every day like, I got balls to the wall. My spot's not safe. We're saying like those people adapt to the FixFit model a little bit better because they just get like, okay, this is something to supplement my workout. It's not going to make me varsity A because I did it. And if it doesn't, and I get hurt in the process, it's a failure. But a great example, a perfect example of this is DJ, right? Like, he needed he didn't play organized sports growing up. To my knowledge.
No, he didn't play any sports at all.
No sports. Okay, so he doesn't have that mentality.
So you don't necessarily need to have been like, oh shoot, I didn't play sports growing up. That's not the point.
He played music and instruments.
Yep.
Okay, so maybe, he knows how to sit there and follow a program, follow some sheets, follow an instructor, so he gets coached well, so he has some accountability from a coach. And people that, my patients that just lift at LA Fitness all the time, I'm like, you should probably get a personal trainer or a coach or some sort, so you have accountability, right? But where did he transition into, now I'm going to set PR goals for myself, and I compete to myself.
Yep.
Right? Where did that drive come from? And now, why I say it's a perfect example is because he just posted his FixFit Deej page. And I said, this is going to become my favorite page. And it was like half joke because his shirt is off and he's pumping those sexy muscles and his long hair is flowing in the wind. But really what I mean is, like, if you read his descriptions and actually listen, if any members of the gym actually go and read the caption, it says, like, I'm not good at bodybuilding. I can't load this lat and do a tricep extension, but I'm going to freaking try. And I'm going to keep working at it. I'm going to film myself so Mark and Ian can critique it, and I cannot listen to Ian and give him a bunch of shit about it, and but I'm going to do it. Yeah. Right? And it's like, where changed his mindset for that?
Well, I think it started because, being from a non-athletic or sport background, he jumped into the world of sports. So he's had
his sport of CrossFit, right?
9 years of competing against, wanting to be better than people.
He's just fighting the clock.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true. We've been battling for many years, right?
And you two battle, yeah.
So it's just like, that's the beauty of CrossFit, is that, you work harder because there's a timer on you. That's what the founder of CrossFit talks about. When you time yourself doing anything, it could be dishes, you probably go a little quicker.
Yeah.
And then having the people next to you, he also mentioned that, like, if you're rowing and you probably row at whatever pace, and then your dog sits down and stares at your monitor, you're like just inclined to go a little quicker.
Yeah.
Just because there's people around you. So
you don't want to, yeah.
So he might not have played sports in the past, but his past was, current, which is 9 years of CrossFit, like, competing against himself, his peers.
So my patient that just does body parts at the gym, does that mean that they need to join CrossFit? No. That means you need that mentality. Like, understand the bigger picture of that is that he picked a sport, and he picked, hey, I PR'd this lift by 5 pounds, but it felt so good. Now I want to go 5 more pounds, and it might take a year to get there, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's the mentality you have to adapt. And if you do just want to keep lifting in the gym like that, and maybe just, if I just want to cosmetically look fit, we're definitely not for you, right?
Well, but even let's say, okay, if you're a bodybuilder to look good, You're not going to get
Not
there without
competing.
the drive.
We're not talking about a compete.
No, still, if you're trying to, look chiseled and be for aesthetic purposes only.
I think I have patients like that. A lot.
But it still takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
You have to lock down your diet, which is discipline.
Yes.
You're chasing something, which is your previous image of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing shit you probably didn't want to, like wake up early to do some cardio, and then you have to work out X hours. You have to follow. So that's still an athlete mindset.
But do they know they're doing that? That's what we're trying to elaborate, right?
The successful ones, that's what we're differentiating. The successful ones that get to the, let's say, just aesthetics that they want.
I took my shirt off at my 4th of July party, and I felt great about it. I was the best looking one at the pool, like, subjectively, like, cool. You still had to diet pretty hard to get there, right?
Yeah, you had to have the work ethic to get there, and that's what's missing. So, like, if you're missing out on the things you love to do, or, like, why isn't this working? What we have found is that you just can't follow programs blindly,
Yep.
I still like Gary Vee, look him up if you don't know, but he talks about how the school system's all fucked up because it's built on memorization.
Yeah. Standardized testing's...
You're just memorizing stuff, and it's like you don't
tough.
learn how to apply it. You're not actually, like, motivated to learn the content.
Yeah. It's like IQ testing, too. They're like... But if you're putting masses of people in a public school setting with tax dollars, it's like you got to figure out a way to get a bell curve. You know, you got to figure out a way to objectively push a certain group towards something, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, is it going to work for every single person?
Well,
Hell no.
Here's the analogy I want to go over. I talked to you a little bit about it, but like, okay, you're taking Spanish in college to fill GE credits, right?
Right.
You could take it for, like, Andrea, my wife, she took it for 4 years, You took it for a couple years, let's say, but you're just memorizing.
Yeah.
But the difference is, if you had the intent, like, you're moving to Mexico or Spain or whatever, and you have the intent of, like, I have to learn this, that's a different mindset. You would definitely learn it because you're consistently practicing it. You're gonna probably fuck up a lot trying to actually articulate and communicate with it, but the intent is different. How many people have taken languages in college, high school, and don't remember a damn thing? Maybe like 2 or 3 words.
Do you know how Mormons, I think when they turn 18, they go on their mission trip after they graduate high school?
I have no idea.
You haven't heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
They go on a mission trip for, I believe, a year when they're all 18. It's like part of their church process of becoming a man and stuff. But I'm sure somebody could message us and give us the real thing. But they learn a language for it because their mission is usually for the church on a international.
Yeah.
But when they come back, they're fluent. Like, I know a lot of my friends are Mormon. They'll be, like, fluent in Spanish. You would never guess it. And they'll be like, oh, but I did my mission in, Spain or wherever they're at. And just be like, they applied their language for 1 whole year in person every single day.
Yeah.
They're fluent for the rest of their life.
That's like...
Andrea took it for 4 whole years, but she never moved to Mexico and did a missionary thing there for any amount of time. So she'd probably, like... Spanglish right now, right?
She probably only knows like a few words because your memory can only sustain for so long, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you're trying to learn by any means necessary. So how this relates back to FixFit, it's like you can do FixFit, follow us for years,
Yeah.
You're just in that college class of FixFit.
Yeah. Until
you go and apply it and you're like, I'm going to fix my knee all by any means necessary. That's the intent. There's different ways but the goal is the same. You're never gonna fall off. You can't fall off, right? It's that old saying that you can't beat someone that never quits or whatever. Or you won't fail if you don't quit. And that's the difference between like that athlete mentality of wanting to achieve their goal. And if your goal for FixFit is I want to run again. That's what we want. People have been told never to run again.
Yep.
Never deadlift again. Never CrossFit. Never surf. Never hike. Whatever you've been told not to do. The idea is you should have that athlete mindset now to want to learn and apply the things that you're learning.
Yep. And I think we push that. You push on your members. I push that on my patients because I have a patient right now. Same thing. I'm never going to run again. She just signed up for a half marathon in Coronado, so it's nice and flat. And she's like, that's easy. I'm just going to start there. But I was like, good. Like, already start thinking that we just had a bunch of people complete the Triple Crown of half marathons. And she's like, whoa, like never. I'm like, why would you say that? What if you go run that half marathon on a flat surface and you train and you're doing all these FixFit movements and you PR it? You just got the bug, right?
Yeah.
You set a 1-year goal next year. I'm going to do the Triple Crown. We had a ton of people just do that.
Yeah.
With FixFit.
That's another thing with athletes versus someone that doesn't have the athlete mentality is that when something gets hard, they quit.
Right.
Because when you're on a
knee
team,
tendonitis from this training, I'm out.
Yeah, I twisted my ankle playing basketball a ton of times. I can't wait to get back into the game.
Right.
I'll do anything I can. I'll do stretches. I'll roll it out. Same with CrossFit, right? When we had Mobility WOD as our primary recovery tool, it's like, oh, I tweaked my shoulder in a snatch. I'm doing like the boulder stretch. I'm digging out my trap using the crossbows every day.
Yep.
Then I can't wait to get back into it.
I can't wait to lift again, yeah.
So a lot of the people that I guess have not experienced maybe the pain of training or the setbacks of bad training days or bad training months or following a regimen and not net like a return. Like we followed so many powerlifting, Olympic weightlifting programs and we got weaker.
Yep.
So that's like 12 weeks of work and still didn't get what we want. But we didn't quit.
Right.
You know?
And that's the thing is, this girl that signed up for the half marathon need to be an athlete in her past to do this? No. But I'm still preaching her that mindset of like, why not? Why not? Like, I know no one's gunning for you and your PR time, and this is just a hobby for you. But if you're liking it and enjoying it, and you're training well for it, I'm like, we're here for you for chiropractic care. I already talked to her about massage therapy. She has a pain like on the top part of her calf, and you've been there, right? Like in the medial calf, like real high up. And I'm like, there's no lacrosse ball, there's no foam roller, there's no, I mean, we did ART on it for a second, and she's like, oh, it's all gone. I'm like, yeah, temporarily. ART is very temporary.
Yeah.
But you need, if you're going to start doing these half marathon trainings, a massage therapist in your tool belt to get into that calf and flush out all the lactic acid from all this pounding on the pavement. Just start it now.
Yeah.
And I was like, they'll put you on a maintenance program where they're like, come see me a week before the race and a week after, and then come see me 4 months from now when the other race is coming, whatever. Yeah. Right? And she was like, boom, I got it, like booked out in a month for a massage. I'm like, there we go. This person's success rate is probably very high now to continue running in the next couple of years and increasing her frequency and maybe doing the Triple Crown in a year or two. It's like, good. Yeah. Physically and recreationally, I mean, the physical benefits of training for something like that. Now, like you said, she's going to be watching her diet. She's going to stay on top of her appointments. She's going to buy new gear and, like, you know what I mean? She's going to, like, really take care of herself, and it's going to pay off. It's awesome. Yeah. We want more of those.
And it's like, that's the purpose of this podcast and the videos I post and stuff like that. It's because, like, that person has access to you and you're giving them FixFit drills. And it's probably the same thing. Having that tight upper calf is that medial hamstring's not firing when she's running, or the glute. And so
she's like, I'm having trouble firing that glute on my kickbacks and pistons on that side.
And it makes sense.
Perfect. Yeah. At least you're right. She identified that.
At least you know now, and now you have to go do practice it as much as you need to until it starts to get better. Yeah. And you're gonna have bad runs, and you're gonna have good runs. You're gonna have things flare up, but none of those things should deter you from a pretty substantial goal. And I think if you're not an athlete vying for a spot, even if I played a lot of just pickup basketball. You wanted to go to this random court for a while and then make a name for yourself, right? Right. Because when you get there, you don't want to wait on the bench for 30 minutes while no one's picking you up. Yeah. And it's politics at that point.
They remember your shoes.
Yeah, and you want to come in and you're like, hey, no, come on in right away. And the thing is, you have to earn that. Mm-hmm. You know, that's that work ethic that you have to kind of have the mindset of like, I'm going to work at it so that like the person you're trying to get her to set a goal, like you should run the Triple Crown. Mm-hmm. And that's a big goal. Why not? Why don't you want to, like, even if you, like for myself, play recreational basketball, why do you rather sit on the bench for 40 minutes while no one picks you up? Mm-hmm. Versus, I'm not as good as those people. Well, yeah, if you set a goal like that, you're never going to be as good as those people. Right. But if you keep working at whatever you need to do, extra practice to be at that work, when you get there and people know that you're decent or good, it's just the goal setting is a big deal.
To kind of go back to the college class I was talking about, they were just saying, like, when you partake in sports, and even for her sport, she wouldn't identify herself as an athlete, or I'm in a sport, but your sport is running. You are an athlete, you're training like one. She technically will probably be more productive at her job. She is a team leader. I know that. She's like a project manager. I'm like, of course you are. That's why you're taking all this on. Yep. You're taking on more things now, and she's going to be more confident in her job because she's, in exercise and better, well-rested. And she's going to lead her team better now. you know, because she just has a better work ethic and she could show people that. But just us as coaches and healthcare providers are trying to show people that ask and have interest, like, this is what you're doing. And the bigger picture is you're providing a lot of value in more places than just, I got a medal at my race.
Yeah.
You know?
And then you're just trying to sell the benefits of the journey.
Yeah.
The learning process.
And enjoy the process.
And if you get hurt, if you hit those walls where you can't go through because you have shin splints every time you run, and you don't really try to fix it, go to someone for help and try to do the drills and keep figuring it out. If you hit a couple walls, you're like, well, I tried PT, well, I tried CrossFit, or I tried Chiro. If it doesn't work, so what? That wasn't the goal, is to check off, I did this.
Yes.
The goal was to fix the problem, right?
Right.
That is what we're trying to...
found. If you didn't find out what the problem was, then
that wasn't even your intent. Your intent was to rely on others to be like, hey, PT, fix my shin splint. Hey, Chiro. Hey, trainer, run coach. You're going to just run your head in the wall 50 different times, 50 different ways.
100%.
Following 100 different weightlifting programs, powerlifting programs, and none of them work long term.
And that's what, man, that's exactly right. Like, that's what I tell all my patients. Like, if you're just out there alone on this, I mean, you're here, you're in my office, or if you're just another member at the CrossFit Sun, it's like, you're part of the bigger picture. Ask questions. You have coaches you're paying for. You have a healthcare provider you're paying for. It's like, I want other chiros to hear this, and we want other trainers and coaches to hear that this mentality is showing your person or your member or client every day. Like, if you haven't figured it out yet, let's stop and reassess.
Yeah. Set
new goals. And start taking a little bit of that mentality away from it, because it's like, otherwise you're just spinning your wheels.
And that's what we were trying to do with Fix It, right, is to find the root cause of the issue.
Yes.
And now we're realizing, let's sum it up into like mindset, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is the issue right now, and that's what we're trying to address. Like, there's so much readily available information, and how trainers and coaches and even chiros kind of get more likes and followers. They just put a lot of fucking shit out there.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're not targeting and talking about the mindset first and foremost, you're just following another set of videos.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work.
Right.
And for us, we keep evolving and changing the way we try to portray the message, because I don't want to put a bunch of videos for you just to try.
Right.
And all you're doing is, that didn't work.
Right.
Because you can go to a PT or any trainer for that.
Yeah. I mean, your great point is that our definition of consistency is different than a physical therapist. A physical therapist is going to be like, your consistency is doing these sets of exercises every other day.
Yeah.
Right? These bands. Do these rotator cuff band warm-ups every other day, or every day before you throw a baseball. Otherwise, that's why it failed, and that's why you're hurting. But you're running these FixFit seminars on Sunday to come try it out and just feel how it feels, and self-diagnose yourself a little bit. If people come to that for like a month straight and then stop coming because it's vacation for them or something, our definition of consistency would be that they're at another gym, or they're at home with their own bands and still applying. They're driving in their car, still applying the FixFit stuff.
Yeah.
And going, I've had people say that to me. Like, I couldn't make it to Mark's thing Sunday. 3:30 didn't work for me, but I went to the gym that morning and did a lat thing on my own, and my neck felt better.
Yeah, or
then you're still doing it.
Someone was just traveling for 3 weeks, and we're like, we haven't seen him. You haven't seen him, and I haven't seen him, and then they're like, oh, my whatever, neck feels better because I've been doing like Terry's flexors for 3 weeks on travel. And they have the will and the consistency and the mindset to fix that problem.
Yes.
And so, like, how it kind of can be related, or the analogy is like, you have to learn FixFit like a sport, because you're trying to fix that problem.
Right.
Trying to fix the problem with, when you run and you're duck-footed or whatever, or if you have a hitch in a golf swing, you're trying to fix that, or whatever. Yep. You suck at free throws and you're a basketball player. You're going to keep practicing it until you're better at it.
Dude, I think your practice for FixFit life stuff, to get away from sport for a second, going on vacation, like when I went on my 2-week trip and I just talked to that person that just went on their 3-week trip, to come back from a vacation and go, I had no setbacks where I was needing Advil, I couldn't go out first thing in the morning, I was sore the whole time. I have so many patients like that. I would be like, I had one guy go on a week-long trip, and this was in the States, and say that he was bedridden the whole time. I'm like, that is so depressing to me.
Yeah.
Like, going international and coming back and going like, hey, like for myself, I know I always get headaches on trips. And it's the flight, my neck is tight from carrying this backpack everywhere. 2 weeks of that and no headaches.
Yeah.
No shoulder pain. I remember one vacation, my shoulder was like literally clicking walking because I couldn't set it down. And I was just like, I was frustrated. I was like, you should just be enjoying your vacation. That's what it's for. But you're worried about pain the whole time. So your practice pays off when you go on a vacation like that for that person for 3 weeks and going like, dude, my shoulder didn't hurt the whole time.
Yep.
It's like, it's working then. That's so awesome. Like, you should not be in that much debilitating pain on a trip. You work hard for it all year round to make it not.
And that's how you're supposed to get better at a skill. You hire a coach, or you have a coach in a sport.
Yep.
They're going to fine-tune things for you, but they're not watching every single dribble that you do if you're a basketball player. They're not watching every single free throw shot.
Yes.
They give you what's wrong. They highlight it. They show you. If you're a golfer, they assess your swing with video and they send it to you.
Yep.
And you are supposed to want to get better, and you have to practice it.
Yep.
So that's pretty much the FixFit idea. Those are the people that get better at their sport, label it as success. Then the practice, the consistency is key. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to highlight it on a scale that can reach a lot more people, whether it's those free classes on Sunday, the podcast, or the videos I post or whatever. That's just hopefully identifying those light bulb moments. And that's what I like. I've had a lot of random people come in on Sundays and go, oh, that's why my back hurts. Oh, that's why my neck is tighter. That's why. And then I'm like, great. But after they leave, that's when the real work happens.
Yes.
That's when you and I, when they leave your office and you show them that their glute doesn't fire, here's kickbacks, but you just identify that glute doesn't work. And then for me, it's the same thing. You identify what could have caused it. And just after that, it's all you. You have to have the athlete mindset to fix that problem, to get better at that problem.
It's just so much easier when you have a goal and an objective measure, like a sport.
That's the issue, right?
It's so much easier that way.
It's hard to be, until you can. That's why we want to have that analogy. Like the person that traveled for 3 weeks, it's not like they got a stronger deadlift or a press, but how do you measure, like, okay, my neck feels...
Functionality at that point. I just sat on a plane to go to Europe. I sleeping on crappy beds, walking on these uneven cobblestones. That's a huge issue here. I did it all though, and I'm back, and I'm working out already. Then everything you've done FixFit wise is paid off, because that's your check mark. That's your game day. You should go on vacation and relax. You shouldn't come back with migraines from it.
Yeah, maybe it's just simple goal setting, like with the pain management aspect of it, Yeah. I don't know. I just don't want to be in pain when I run. And I want to run 3 times a week for the next year. Like,
it's just
figure out how to do that. It's not even like running faster, right?
I know. I think we went over so many different, just all the way down to the cosmetic guy or girl at the pool. It's like they still have game day somewhere in there. So it's like that's where sports can still apply to you, to your everyday life. But it's just some make you more inept to it than others, Yeah,
some goals, I guess, are more attractive or more, something, a big goal, right?
PR this weight, PR my time. But those are easy to say.
Having less shoulder pain doesn't really motivate people as much.
I say reflect, because I just did. I remember being in Portland, and my shoulder clicked the whole time, and I was frustrated at that. I think I had headaches at that time, too. I remember my lower back hurting once too from sitting on the flight. I was frustrated with that. I shouldn't feel anything. I should just be living my life right now and thinking that all the training I just did for the past year is paying off right now while I'm on vacation. But I think just like I was saying, that certain sports make you trend towards just meeting those goals faster, or knowing that you can be consistent with your workouts. But it can also be detrimental to you too, is what we're talking about. It could be too intense, I was talking to you about, wrestling having challenge matches, or basketball and football. There's a bench waiting to replace your ass at any second. Yeah. You can make one mistake if you watch any football show, one mistake and you can be cut in the NFL. One mistake in football and you're out the next play. You're replaceable in those sports, and you eventually have to retire. So if you enter the world of CrossFit as your secondary sport, later in life, or if you enter some powerlifting later in your life and you want a PR, it's easy to go too hard. right?
Yep.
Like someone that's more slow and steady and understands the bigger concept, the old athlete in them, you know, the old has-been or weekend warrior deemed, right? Where it's like, oh, I could use my athleticism and just train harder than the other guy and outwork them. You can't outwork those people sometimes because you can hurt yourself.
That is the detriment of the later athlete or previous athlete. When you're later in life trying to pick up a new sport, you do have that mindset, but to a fault, right?
You've met so many, I bet.
Now you're just trying to put in like, oh, show me a piston. I'm going to do 5,000 or like whatever. It's like, I'm going to do pistons 50 a day. I'm like, that's not the point.
Yep.
That's not the point. They lost the spring back when they were younger doing, you know, maybe suicides every day. Then you're going to get faster.
Yeah.
Now it's a little different, right? It's like you're older, you sit all day at work, and your job isn't just to be good at a sport.
Right.
So
but their mindset translates like we want it to.
Yeah.
Hey, we love working out with those guys, or we love coaching those guys because they recover faster for me for treatment. They pick up what you're coaching. They're coachable. They show up way more than you need them to.
I think the problem with them is the patience.
Yeah.
Because they don't. Now they're older in life, they have less time. When you're in college, that's really you had a scholarship, and that's all you do.
This is your only job.
Yeah.
Go to school, be good at the sport.
What they don't understand, I think, later in life is that you had your whole childhood building up to that, you know.
Yeah.
You've been practicing, let's say, football. You got a scholarship, you know. But now the patience, they feel like they're that athletic. They were at high level at whatever sport they're playing. But when something goes wrong, they can't just bully through it, you know, and expect that, how come I'm not good at weightlifting or powerlifting right now? Because you haven't been doing it since you're 7 years old.
Right.
You know?
It's kind of like...
It's a journey, and then if something hurts, why does it hurt? Usually I bounce back quicker, or just tell me what to do, like, coach. It's like, tell me what to do. You don't even know, like, the basics yet. Like, you need to learn like you did in freaking Pop Warner. And you're just there to kind of understand the rules of the game.
I bet you've seen so many where you could be like, oh, a former gymnast or a former pole vaulter comes into your gym. You're going to be like, damn, this person is going to pick up, you know, body weight movements like bar muscle ups like super freaking quick because they have the athletic talent, right? Throw one dumbbell over your head in a, you know, dumbbell overhead snatch. Are we worried about their shoulder stability? Like, if you've never worked on it, like, so we can always nitpick and find some weaknesses in their game, but it's like you said, if I tell an elite gymnast, hey, that dumbbell snatch looks terrible, you're going to tear something if you don't do these FixFit mechanics behind it to stabilize the shoulder before you get stronger, their mind's racing 10 steps ahead. But I just repped that out 20 times. It's like, yeah, but you're going to break that way. So you have to like work on their mindset, the opposite of what we're saying. Yep. We're telling the everyday Joe Schmo, like, get that mindset, but then we're telling that person, like, you need to simmer it down a bit and work on your imbalances.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, for both parties, if the goal is to get better, that's still the answer. Yep. If you're a crazy ex-collegiate or pro athlete, to get better, you need to slow that shit down. You need to take rest days. You need to take days off from doing CrossFit and maybe just do FixFit. You have to find that balance. And I've had that conversation so many times with our maybe top scoring in our box, right? CrossFitters. It's like, if you want to keep hitting these workouts this hard, you're going to have to find the balance of how much of these FixFit drills you have to do versus how hard you want to push it. But that's where that person should want to find that balance so that they can keep CrossFitting. Versus someone that's like, you know, never been an athlete or whatever, we're like, you're not doing anything. Yep. Your knee's not going to get better. Resting 6 to 8 weeks because that was what someone told you. That's the majority of the people we're trying to hit, the masses, right? I think more people fall under that demographic of like, never been an athlete, afraid of pain. They don't see a linear progress of like getting better. Oh, what happened?
I did everything they told me.
These adjustments are working, now they don't work. It's
I did everything.
It's like you haven't done anything.
I did everything you asked.
As an athlete.
Right.
You've done everything in terms of you bought a fancy protocol or program. Even if we had a FixFit program and you followed it A to Z, you have learned nothing because the intent wasn't just to follow the program.
Right.
It was to learn how to apply it to your sport, your activity.
I think we're kind of opening the door for FixFit Deej to make his return. He asked if he could come back because Brittany's been on what, twice? 3 times? Oh, Bob's been on 3 times.
Bob and Brittany are twice.
And Deej has been twice. Oh, yeah, so he said he needs to be on for a third time because he wants to be one up on all of them.
Maybe that's why he created his Instagram page.
FixFit Deej. He wants back as FixFit Deej on here, and we can market it that way. But that kind of opens the door for him to come on and be like, you have the advantage that you have a coach in your gym that's literally going through that process. Like, I've been competing in CrossFit 9 years.
Yeah.
No athletic background. It's a long progression, and it was not linear. It took a lot of zigzags to get to that goal.
We spend many telling stories about him being stuck at. And anyone that's done weightlifting,
He could deadlift 500 pounds next week and snatch whatever his weight was that he wants to get to. You talk to him the week after, he's probably going towards something else.
Yeah, because he's setting new goals, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the willingness to get better, and that's.
We can talk to him about that. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, and another thing too is that like that's being an athlete, right? Being a student, a client, a member, whatever your label, it's the same thing. We're saying that if you're an athlete with an athlete mindset, you're gonna learn faster or maybe adhere to a program better, But what if, to plant seeds, someone that's a healthcare practitioner, a coach, a teacher, a trainer, whatever, that's one more level, because then as a coach, obviously you can't just follow a protocol and coach it, verbatim. You have to understand the concepts and stuff.
Yeah, we have so many examples that we throw out there to show success and not success, right? But the overall picture you can see is like we keep saying the same thing. It all boils down to one topic at the end of the day, and that it's a mentality. It's a grind. It's not going to be...
But you have to have the willingness to learn stuff. And what I'm seeing is the biggest... It's going to peak and it's going to explode. Is coaches, they're not learning how to teach concepts.
Mm-hmm. Or
what Julian Strongfist talks about, you have to teach the principles. It's everyone's selling ebooks and programs.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just you're repackaging whatever you've learned or thought of, put it into some protocol, and you keep selling programs.
Yep.
It's like, look at DJ, right? Has to, as an athlete, he has to learn and practice and then try to have an athlete mindset to adapt it to his training. But coaching it is a whole new freaking process. It's even more intense. But again, you have to stay consistent with it. You have to have the willingness to be like, I want to help people by coaching these type of methods as a golf instructor, as a run coach, as a yoga instructor,
That's great.
It's just, it doesn't make sense to me that if my intent as a coach, a trainer, is to get people to become better at these movements, I have to learn how to teach the movements better. I have to learn the mechanics better.
And this is 3 years in the making? Mm-hmm. Where you were like, I gotta learn how we're gonna make everybody in this gym, and myself included, do this for the rest of our life.
And even for the newer people, because we're talking about 7 years of CrossFitters, right? Like, let's say, okay, I have to make sure they stay healthy because they've been moving for 7 years.
Right.
But even if someone brand new walks into the gym, I want to become, that's the intent, I want to become better at coaching now, right? Mm-hmm. So if someone comes in and learning a push-up, you're still going to have to teach them. The FixFit method is just an easier way to have them learn it. You can have them push their elbows wherever the hell they want to go, in, out, close to your body, away from your body, but that person is not learning anything. He's just following you your commands,
right,
verbatim,
mm-hmm.
versus explaining to him, what are you doing for a push-up? Do you feel your pecs on? Do you feel your core on? And if you just have that kind of old school mentality again, where it's just information, push-up should be elbows in. It should be core tight. They have learned nothing. You have failed as a coach, and therefore it's not going to go anywhere.
That's why so many businesses try their best to systemize things and make office and procedures that, imagine all your coaches just said elbows out. That's kind of what CrossFit was doing, right? And then even from headquarters up, it's like, we're not going to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Because there's too many specialists of what were we saying, the CrossFit cardio stuff and
Yeah.
It's just
all the different certifications.
All the different certs. It just got too convoluted. So it's break it down. We're just trying to get people healthy. That's what he's trying to pitch it right now.
Yep.
And it's how though? And it's your gym has figured it out. We're just working on feeling, and then how your muscles are feeling. how you're mentally feeling that day.
Well,
like,
let's say
it's a bigger picture.
We figured out. Again, it's not that we like have this is it, right?
Right.
But the goal, like reevaluating, like you said, reflecting.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, well, I want to become a better trainer. I want my trainers to be their best, to be the best trainers. I want the people coming in and the people that have been here to continue to get better learning.
Yeah.
So if that's the goal, then how do we do it? All the stuff currently is just not fitting that bill, or it's not working anymore. And that's where I think a lot of the issues lie with things working or they don't. And you just have to ask that question, what did I learn? You followed a program, you went to a chiro, you did some sort of weightlifting cycle. We have to stop going with that pass-fail mentality of like, I completed it. I went to a trainer for 6 months. I went to CrossFit for 2 years. But
I think we're just changing the term reassessment,
But it's like, what did you learn from that process? If you did a powerlifting program for 12 weeks.
Reassessment to that is, did I PR or not?
And that's...
Pass, fail.
Pass, fail. But it's like, did these accessory drills get you stronger pecs? Did this type of protocol...
Are you carrying your son without neck pain now?
Yeah.
You
just got to ask the questions.
Your headache's down. And
it's a fair question, right? Mm-hmm. Or else you're just following something blindly.
It's just lifestyle, man. Lifestyle application.
So sum it up, I think, you take the benefits of having strong goals, that are motivating to you. And you have to try to attack those goals like you're an athlete vying for a scholarship, vying for a spot on the team, right? And that's how you're going to get better at applying the FixFit stuff. So it's like if your knee hurts, you're trying to fix your knee because you have a goal to run 3 marathons or half marathons. You want to CrossFit and you don't want to take months off, or you don't want the knee to hurt again. So you have to do what you have to do, practice, do all the drills. It is a pain in the ass. But now for me to continue to deadlift or work out, ideally when I have to go in do 10, 15 minutes of FixFit before a workout and then 10 to 15
that's what
post.
It takes.
But if that's what I want to do, or I could just
I'm gonna do.
Back down and just deadlift 225 the rest of my life. But that's not the goal. It's not exciting. And my knees might hurt, or my back.
It's not sexy. It's definitely not sexy, but it's working. So freaking just listen to your body, listen to your coaches, and just don't take everything for gospel, test it out, ask questions, try new things, like I was telling you, I did 2 straight days of working on my hip hinge on my right leg. It feels great. I'm not happy with it yet until I'm under a barbell squatting heavy again and depth feels better, and it's like, even if that happens, it's like it's gonna be under a lighter weight. It's not gonna be a PR. It's like work towards it, but it's like, it's not like, I did it for 2 days, Mark, my hip's still sore after 1 day. It's like, just get back to it, You
just got to keep moving. That's the goal. And those people that don't want to do the work, and we hear that all the time, that's too much work. Then it's already over.
In so many words they say that, though, right? We kind of have to determine over a long period of time.
But you really didn't want it.
You didn't want it.
You want someone to magically fix you.
And we're not here for that.
We can't do that, though. It's impossible. Even if we wanted to, I would love to fucking voodoo magic your knee, give you a magical exercise to fix it, but...
If you want to voodoo it, that's what acupuncture is for. That's what I tell people.
That Harry Potter shit that Brittany does?
She does that, and knee pain just goes away. And she deals with it too, though.
It does go away.
It went away, but then it came back.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Did you change anything in the past week?" Nope. Then I'm not your magic pill.
Yeah, but we're the resources if you have that work ethic and want to succeed.
Become that athlete. You want to be that athlete.
Be that athlete. We're all on the same journey. We all have bumps and bruises. That's why DJ CrossFitted. He's our head coach. I mean, he's hit big numbers in a lot of lifts and ran 3 half marathons. But he just created his FixFit page to really take it seriously.
2 years later.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's never too late, and he wasn't.
No, it's great. I love that. We should shout that out. Follow FixFit Deej.
DEEJ.
DEEJ. We'll get him on soon. We'll probably message him and try to get him on next week or the week after.
I think
on scheduling.
I think my last little tip of the podcast is don't abandon what works, because everyone's got that fuck around-itis. You see a new drill, you see a new fucking infographic on Instagram. Try this, not that. Try this stretch. Try that.
Get those so rights.
Right? You try this new mobility tool. if you tested something out, like the piston worked for you and the teres carries work for you, then you have to keep going. It's like that whole thing with, you can't just, oh, these drills work for piano. I did it for 2 months. You're probably going to be practicing the rest of your life. So stick to the drills that work. Sabrina, a lot of people swear by the oblique opener we talked about, or just the anchored press, or any of them. All the videos, the fixed fit jack stuff.
Proof's in the pudding.
Just do it a lot more. Do it like, that's how you have to continue with these drills so you can continue to do your sport.
Yes, sir. All right, man.
That's it.
We're
Easy
done.
day.
Boom. Always easy.